Good morning. So, science and spirituality. So, this has always been like a controversial thing. The one who is following the spirituality, one who is like spiritual person will never agree with the science. And those who are like expert in science would always like say that spirituality is dogma or superstition, all these kind of things. So my journey was a little different. I come from a Newari family. I was born and brought up in Newari family where meat, alcohol, and all these kind of things were very common, right? And then I got educated in science, right? So I tried everything. I also tried making many girlfriends, thinking that that'll give me happiness. So I tried like many things. I traveled the world. I did so many things trying to become happy. But then I got married. And after I got married, I met one foreigner monk. The guy was like dressed up like in dhoti and all this kind of attire. It was like saffron, orange in color. And this man would come, and then I was thinking, the white-skinned guy being a sadhu coming to Nepal. And that time I was thinking of going to America because our culture has been such that if we are young, if we are educated, then we must go to the Western countries or developed countries to study or work or live life there. So I was one of them. And I was thinking here, like the white-skinned guy in the attire of monk, coming to Nepal. So I had like two things going in my head. The first was, this guy is mad. Now, he left all the facilities and all the advancement of like the Western world and then come to Nepal as a sadhu, as a jogi. That's what we call in Nepali. Jogi means like one who is useless. That's what I was thinking. But the second thing was, the white-skinned guy, they are like good in research. They are like ahead than us. Now, what does that guy know, which I don't know? Right? So I started talking with him and then found that, he's into spirituality. He knows so much. Now, sad thing is, nobody in my life, those who are educated in this kind of spirituality and religion, nobody showed me the science in it. They used to come and tell the stories, and then their focus would be give donation to the Brahmins, and then your life will be sublime, and this and that. That was the focus of this whole storytelling. But nobody would talk about the science. When I read Bhagavad Gita and Shrimadbhagwatam, I found science. If you read Canto 3 of Shrimadbhagwatam, you can find embryology, which today's science, which ultrasound and everything, they found like how the child will grow in the womb of the mother. All the details, each and every organ of when it is developed and how. Not only that, even the psychology of the child, what he or she is thinking in the womb of the mother. All these kind of things. And then there is the definition of atom. We believe that it is written somewhere around 5,000 years back, and they knew atom and everything. It's called Parmanu. And the definition is the smallest unit of any element which is never divisible again. And if you divide it, it loses its nature. This is the definition I read in chemistry and whatever. I was shocked. Oh my God, it's already there. And not only that, the smallest unit of time is defined as the sunlight passing from one end to another end of hydrogen atom. Wow, this is science, right? Not only that, the universal structure, the height and breadth of the universe, right? How it is formed, right? It even talks about black holes. I'm talking about Shrimadbhagwatam, which you hear this 7 days katha, Shrimadbhagwatam katha. I was surprised. I'm like, oh my God. And to the degree that I even found the value of pi. Right? It says like the planets are spherical. The universe is like an egg shape. That's why it's called Brahmanda. Anda means like, egg. It's the shape of the egg. It's like spherical, but a little bit, height is less than than the breath. So all this kind of science. Not only that, genetical engineering, cloning concept is there. When the Vainamaras was killed, then there was nobody to rule the country. So from his living cell, they created Prithu Maharaj. That's cloning, right? I don't have to talk about the test tube baby. No, Gandhari, when she had miscarriage, because when she started like hitting her stomach, thinking that I couldn't serve my husband well, the flesh came out. That flesh was cut into like 100 pieces and then put into like, what do you call it? Gampo, sterilized. I don't know what kind of sterilization was there and what kind of thing. Then I found there are 3 things: mantra, yantra, and tantra. Now, these 3 things. Now, mantra was the science used at that time. Then, lesser than mantra is tantra, where the spiritual things, like subtle things, are used. And this is the age of yantra, where the devices like these kind of things are like used. Like the mic I'm speaking into, these are yantra. So the scripture says that the yantra is the lowest of all these 3. But that time they were using mantra. Now what is mantra? Right? If we want to know about mantra, right, it comes from mind. Now the thing is, we all have mind, do we? Yeah, all of us, we have mind, right? Now, the thing is, we are not educated in mind. Most of us, we know everything about the body. Even the modern doctors, they study each and every, minute part of the body very scrutinizingly. But then, what we know very less about is the mind. I'm not talking about brain. Even the modern scientists in America, they have proved that brain and mind are different. Brain is rational, mind is emotional, right? So, and then as I go deeper in spirituality, I realize that everything is coming from mind, right? At this moment, of course, because of the language, I would like to use Nepali language, which is more explainable. Because in Nepali, we have like very to the point, we can explain to this, right? तपाईहरुले जुन खाना खानुहुन्छ हैन जिब्रोले टेस्ट गर्छ right? हो? The tongue would taste the food. तर तपाईलाई मिठो लाग्यो भने के भन्नुहुन्छ? जिब्रो पर्यो भन्नुहुन्छ कि मन पर्यो भन्नुहुन्छ? सुन्नु भएको छ कस्तो मिठो जिब्रो पर्यो यार. Have you ever heard of that? No. Right? If you hear the music, क्या कान पर्यो यार? Huh? Do you say that? Or मन पर्यो भन्छ? राम्रो मान्छे देख्यो, आँखाले देखेको भने हैन? के आँखा पर्यो यार भन्छ हो? कि मन पर्यो भन्छ? Do you realize that? गुलाबको फूल, नाक पर्यो यार. We never say that. We say man paryo. See, everything is coming from mind. Everything is going to the mind. Mind is the center of control. Right? If the body is weak, but the mind is powerful, you can still go ahead. But if the mind is weak and body, no matter how powerful it is, it doesn't work. That's why in today's world, not understanding the mind, many of us are in stressful environment, mental stress. That develops to anxiety, and then it develops to depression. That's why it's happening. So the thing is, if the mind is so powerful, why don't we know anything about the mind? Because we're never taught. We're never taught. In the early days, the culture was so rich that you already know about the mind. But in today's world, the focus is math, science, English, and nothing of this. When I got the degree of engineering, I didn't know how to choose my life partner. I had no idea. I couldn't ask my parents. I was too shy. The only place I could ask was my friends. And my friends would fool me all the time. Or yaar, girlfriend banaunu paryo. I want girlfriend. They say, one guy said, do gym. Make muscles. You'll get lots of women attracted to you. I tried. See, the muscles are still there. Right? I used to go in front of the woman, and I like, and then I would pose like I would showing my muscles. And she would she would not give any attention. Then I asked like another friend, it doesn't work. And he said, you're black, you're darker. That time, we didn't have any other choice than Fair and Lovely. Right? I put it on my face and then realized after about like 6 weeks, 8 weeks, I was getting fairer. So I went in front of the woman and then showed my face, then she doesn't look at me. I was fooled. Then I went to my female friends, then I thought like my male friends are like fooling me. I went to my female friends and then asked, it doesn't work. I tried this, I tried that, and then they say, no, we like darker people. Then the next moment I was going in the sun, I was sitting in the sun and I like trying to make myself like tanned, So anyway, later on I found that to fall in love, we need to understand in the level of mind, which we are never taught. That's why we end up getting the wrong partner, right? Beyond mind is intelligence, buddhi, right? Now the mind which is governed by, the mind which is guiding the mind, the intelligence which is guiding the mind is the best situation. In Bhagavad Gita it is said, the uncontrolled mind is the worst enemy and the controlled mind is the best friend. So our friends earlier who presented this sankalpa and all these things, he was talking about the determination, all these like ideas, knowledge coming from the level of intelligence. But then we are never taught what is the difference between intelligence and the mind. We can always like feel they are like people, they are like entities talking inside us. We are one person, but there are so many voices. One guy says, come on, enjoy, man, there is nobody here. And the other guy says, no, you might get into trouble. Are you sure? And says, no, see, nobody is looking at you, do whatever you want. Then the other guy says, no, I told you last time the other guy tried and he is in trouble. So my question is, who are talking inside us? We're supposed to be one living entity, no? These are the elements which are like having discussion inside us. And there are like lots of like movies, animations made based on this. You can write, it's called like Inside or something like that, right? And then beyond intelligence is the Atma, right? Now if I talk about what Atma is, I can guarantee many of us will not understand because we have not understood what our mind is. Now Atma is too refined, too subtle, too deep, right? So before I leave the floor, what I would like to say is, we are driven by the mind. Let's not talk about intelligence and soul. We are driven by our mind. Whatever our mindset is, we become accordingly, right? In our childhood, whatever we are trained, we means mind. We live accordingly. In modern days, there are like hypnotic regressions, which is practiced. What they mostly do is, they will do the hypnotic regression, hypnotize you, and take you back to your childhood, especially from the age of 6 to 13. That's where our long-term memory are built. It's called sanskar. Now, in modern days, like discovery also, they have found that there are sensory cells in the level of heart. In the heart, there are almost like 40,000 sensory cells. And that means there is memory in the heart. And that memory is called sanskar. Whatever you put in this sanskar, it will remain for the rest of the life.